Last night I played a game called The Beginner's Guide. It's sort of a follow-on of sorts to the Stanley Parable, which was a very, very funny game that came out a few years ago. And it's nothing like the Stanley Parable in many ways. It's not funny. You should know that. It's not a funny game. So what can I tell you about this game? Well, I guess I could show you some screenshots. No, actually, no. What's the point? What's the point? You see, the thing is about the Beginner's Guide, I could show you bits of the game. I could explain to you the premise of the game, and I could tell you roughly how it made me feel, but none of these things would be useful to you. Because most games I could go through with a fine comb, tooth comb, that's the way you say it, and I could tell you about, interesting mechanics. I could tell you about how it achieves the things it aims to do. I could tell you about how much fun it is to play or what it makes me feel like. I could relate to you the experiences that I have, maybe to do with the themes in the game, maybe to do with the plot. But this one is something a bit different. It's ostensibly a game about creation and the act of being a creator and the relationships that you might have with your creations, but also the relationships that you might have with the people who consume the things you make. It touches on a lot of themes, but most of all, it's a deeply personal piece of work. It's clearly a reflection of the person who's made it. And the experiences I have with it are very much a reflection of me. So I could tell you how it made me feel, but that's not useful. It's not useful for anyone but me. And so I'm not going to show you anything. I'm just going to tell you that it's very interesting. And if you're somebody who's ever created something, if you're somebody who's ever made things and sent them out into the world, or just made things and kept them to yourself, then it's something that you might be interested in. Can I recommend it? Can I say you should definitely try it? Well, I don't know. I had an interesting time with it, but I'm not sure it was necessarily 100% positive. It made me feel some things that weren't 100% comfortable, and it asks a lot of questions, but doesn't have any real answers. I mean, that's, I guess, what art is. So, yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. And it's something that some people are going to really get something from and have an interesting time with. And some things that some people are just going to think is very pretentious. And you know what, you might be watching this and thinking it's very pretentious. And in which case, if you really think this is pretentious, then I've probably just saved you about £5, so you can thank me later. Anyway, The Beginner's Guide. Well worth a look if you're just somebody who thinks about the creative process and thinks about creativity in any degree. Won't be for everyone, but it will be for some people. And definitely something that raises some interesting questions about the nature of games, and not just that, the nature of how we cover games. I like to try and approach games from different ways, look at the structure of something and work out how best to convey that experience in video. And this is one case where I really just can't. There's nothing I can show you and nothing I can say which will do this piece of work any kind of justice. And in many ways that makes me question why it's so easy to do it for so many other games, and whether that's in some way a bit of a failing of the medium. And there's the inevitable cut because I've rambled. Look, it's a thing, and I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know how to discuss a piece of work like this using the medium of video effectively. So here we are. At the same time, it feels worth talking about. It feels worth conveying that this is a thing that you should look at, maybe. Maybe. This has probably been the least helpful video ever, but I think it's at the very least maybe slightly interesting. I don't know. Let us know. Thanks for watching anyway. Have a lovely day. God, so what was that? Am I having a breakdown of sorts, or is this just an interesting milestone in the evolution of how games are changing and starting to surprise us in ways that, as somebody who talks about games and explains them, just don't know what to do, don't know how to deal with this, and don't know how to deal with the way that it feels. Oh baby, I love the way... I don't know what's going on anymore. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, or at least you found it interesting, you can pop over to coolghost.net and there'll be a link in the description below for a specific place where you can go and post a comment. Maybe you check the game out and feel equally confused, or maybe you want to check it out and you do, and then you have something to say about it. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.